Hi everyone and welcome back. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a review of these new products that Arteza have just sent to me. We've got 2 pads of drawing paper there, 80 sheets in each. It's acid free, heavyweight, spiral bound, ideal for dry media, and it's 9 by 12 and the weight of it is 80 pounds or 130 grams. And we've got 2 of those there. And we've also got 120 sets of coloured pencils in the expert range. And it says on the tin, 120 unique colours, artist quality, 4mm leads, break resistant, blendable and acid free. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll get the pencils out first of all, and we'll have a good look at those. They come in quite a thick tin actually, it looks more like a biscuit tin, doesn't it, that? Quite a thick tin for a pencil tin. And when we open the lid, we've got that foam protection there, and you can see there we've got light fast ratings. All the colours are kind of swatched out there. Light fast ratings: 1 star is excellent light fast, 2 star is great light fastness, and 3 stars is good light fastness, and 4 stars is fair light fastness. I would have thought it would have been the other way around, but that's how Arteza have done it. So basically 1 star is better than 4 stars. You know, 1 star means light fast. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll get all of these colours out. There's 5 trays here. I'll get all of these trays out so you can have a quick look at them. Okay, that's all 5 trays there. And as you can see, in true Arteza style, they've arranged the colours in quite a funny arrangement there. I don't know why Arteza don't actually, for example, you know, put all of the greens together instead of having them, you know, spread out over several trays there. Same with all the colours. I guess it makes sense to Arteza how they do this, but I noticed this when they sent me their sets of watercolour pencils as well. They're kind of in some sort of order, but I can't really understand why it's done like that. We've got a few blues, a few greens, yellows, pinks and reds, etc. And then we've got blues, greens, yellows, pinks and reds, etc. into a few browns on this side. So personally, I'm going to be inclined to take all of these out and put them in an order which makes more sense to me. But Arteza do this. I've seen this with you know, all of their pencils. They kind of put them in this order which only makes sense to them. Okay, so let's have a quick close-up of one of the pencils in here. As you can see, we've got the nice silver writing, silver banding on the pencil there. Factory sharpened, so these will all need sharpening, you know, to a nice sharp point there. Round barrel, which I prefer, and they're really nicely finished actually. They look very nice quality. So I think what we need to do now is give them all a swatch out and see what the colours look like. You're probably thinking, you're not going to swatch 120 pencils out on camera for us, are you? Well, yes I am, but I'm not going to do it in real time, that's for sure. I'm going to do a bit of a speed swatch of it, and that'll come up right now. Okay, so I'm using the Arteza paper to swatch these out on, and the first thing I noticed with the coloured pencils was just how smooth they are. On the paper they feel lovely and creamy. In fact, they feel like one of the high-end brands of pencils which I own, and they look very similar too. The second thing that impressed me with these was the pigment load. I mean, one thing about Arteza, they do not skimp on their pigments. You know, they really pack the colours in there. And well, you can see, look, from the swatches just how strong and rich those pigments look. So no disappointments. I'm really pleased with these. So far they tick all the boxes for me. Okay, so after swatching these out, I noticed that we've got 5 colours along the bottom row here that are actually metallic. If I try and tilt that in the light for you so you can kind of see them shimmering away there, look. So we do actually get 5 metallic colours there, which I thought was interesting to include them in the set. But I think really the true test for these is to actually do a drawing with them. So that's what we're going to do right now. Okay, so I chose a Gordian finch as a subject to draw. A really bright, colourful little bird, and I thought the bright colours on there would really show off the quality of the pencils, you know, the nice, vibrant, strong colours of the pencils. I'm doing this on the Arteza paper, and you can probably see there that it's quite a grainy texture on there. I was kind of fighting with the grain of the paper all the way through the drawing, to be honest. I wouldn't say this paper particularly suited me at all. Usually I like a smoother grain on my papers, but as soon as I'm reviewing this one, I use the Arteza paper. Nothing wrong with it at all, it's just that I found it just too grainy for my taste. But it was absolutely fine once you'd gone over it with an alcohol blending pen, or if you use Zest It or something like that. As you can see there, I chose to use an alcohol pen. I found the pencils, they blended absolutely brilliantly, and I could apply multiple layers, and the pencils were so smooth and creamy on the paper, they felt like really nice high quality pencils. And as you can see, look, the colours are really strong and vibrant as well. I had no problems at all applying multiple layers, and I found that the colour distribution was nice and even with all the pencils that I used. There was no funny business with them at all, and the claim that Arteza make about the cores being break resistant is absolutely true. I sharpen these on my M&R hand crank pencil sharpener, which can get a really nice sharp needle point on any pencil, and I sharpen these on the sharpest setting, and usually with a lot of coloured pencils, when I sharpen them on that setting, usually as soon as they touch the paper the point just pings off because it's so sharp and so thin. But I didn't even have any of that with these pencils, so there's a good point retention there, plus they feel nice and soft on the paper, so you've got the best of both worlds there. There's, like I say, no problem with layering whatsoever, other than the fact that I was fighting with the grain of this paper, which produced very grainy layers each time. So the only option I had was to actually use the alcohol blender to overcome that problem. But I'm looking forward to using these pencils on a paper that suits my drawing style a lot better, something a little bit smoother, and I think these pencils will come into their own. So all in all, I was totally impressed with the pencils. They were an absolute joy to use, and I will certainly be using them again in the future for some of my mixed media projects and coloured pencil drawings. The paper, not so much. I didn't enjoy using the paper at all, but like I say, there's nothing wrong with the quality of it. It's just very grainy, that's all. Some people are really going to like that. I'm going to use the paper though. I mean, there'll be certain subjects in landscapes and things like that which will probably suit a more grainy texture, you know, to get more of a grainy look in the drawing, to enhance the detail and that kind of thing. But for general everyday use, this paper isn't for me. But like I say, that's just a personal choice, so don't let me sway your opinion there at all. Okay, so the drawing's just about finished. There is actually a full-length tutorial of this over on my Patreon page that's in real time if you're interested in drawing along with this one. Okay, so a few final touches there, and we can call that one done. Okay, so conclusion. Let's look at some of the pros and cons of the paper and the pencils. First of all, the paper. Like I said, for my taste, it's just a little bit too grainy, although I can work with it, you know, as long as I've got an alcohol blending pen or something like that. The paper's absolutely fine. It did say heavyweight. I'm not inclined to agree with that. I would say it's more of a medium weight paper, to be honest. At £80, you know, I've got papers that are classed as heavyweight which are a lot heavier than this, and some of the medium weight papers are around about £80, so I would class that as a medium weight paper, to be honest. Now the price of it is excellent. In the UK, for 2 packs of 80 sheets, it's $19.99, and in US dollars it's $29.99. I think that's a really good price actually, for this quality of paper and for the amount you get as well. I mean, Arteza, you know, are pretty hard to beat on price, aren't they, really? Right, so let's look at the pros and cons of the pencils. One of the first things you'll notice about these pencils is just the general build quality. It's excellent. They're finished superbly, and I had no problems or any issues with any leads not being centered properly. They're all centered perfectly adequately, and like I say, build quality is very high with these, so no problems there. I didn't have any of the pencils that I used, or any of the pencils, well, I've used them all obviously to swatch them out, but I'm talking any of the pencils that I used for the drawing. When I was sharpening them, I didn't have any wood splitting or any funny business whatsoever. And as I've already mentioned in the video, Arteza's claim that the leads are break resistant, absolutely 100% true. And something else I really like about these pencils is the colour coded barrels. I much prefer these over the coloured pencils that you get that just have maybe a black barrel, you know, a solid coloured barrel, and then just a colour on the end cap. I find it much easier to use pencils, you know, with colour coded barrels. You know, when you're sort of hyper focusing in on a drawing and you want to change your colour quickly, and you don't want to be faffing around just looking for the little end cap to see what colour it is. It's nice to have, you know, the colour coded barrels. Makes for a much nicer drawing experience, in my opinion. And I've already mentioned about, you know, they layer well, they blend well, the colour distribution is perfectly even, and they're nice and soft and creamy and just simply, you know, a joy to use. They really are. So what are the cons with these pencils then? Well, I really had to look hard to find any, to be honest. And if I was to be picky, I'd probably just point out things like these plastic trays are a little bit on the flimsy side, and they're a little bit difficult to get out as well. But again, it's not a problem, is it, really? And the only other thing I could think of, and again, it's probably not really a problem, and it's probably to be expected with such a large set of pencils, you know, 120 set, and that is you're going to get a few colours which are quite similar. You know, on the swatch sheet there, when you look at it, some of the colours do look almost the same. Not all of them, obviously, you know, they're not all kind of just doubled up, but one or two of them are very close. But I think, like I said, you know, that's to be expected, isn't it, really, with 120 set. Now, the price of these will blow you away. It really will. For 120 pencils, coloured pencils, UK price is $64.99, in US dollars $99.99. Now, for 120 pencils of this quality, that is an amazing price. It really is. So if you're an artist on a budget and you don't want to cheap out on nasty rubbish, you know, that doesn't work properly or anything like that, go for these. These compare favourably to some of the high-end pencils that I've got, you know, and they are at a budget price. And that's one of the things I love about Arteza. None of their products are overpriced. You know, the price to quality ratio with Arteza is always good. It's always very good. I've done quite a few reviews of Arteza products, and it's always the same conclusion when it comes to price. You know, they're hard to beat. You know, they're hard to beat. The watercolour pencils that I reviewed, I was totally impressed with the quality, the build quality and the way they performed and the price of them. And it's exactly the same with these. I don't know how they do it. I really don't know how they do it. It's because, like I say, these, you know, if you've got some high-end sets of coloured pencils, compare these to them and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. They really do compare favourably with, you know, a lot of the other coloured pencils that I use. One other thing I should just quickly mention, which should have probably gone in the cons category, was there's no open stock with these at all. You can't buy them individually, unfortunately. But you can buy smaller sets of these. This is the largest set they do. Don't quote me on this, but I think they do a 48 set, a 72 set, and maybe a 24 set. I'm not sure. But I do recall seeing smaller sets of these about. So if you do run out of some of the colours, you might be able just to buy a smaller set to replace some of the colours that you run out of. You know, and at these prices, it's no big issue to go out and buy another set, really, is it? But I know the fact that you can't get them in open stock will put some people off. But I wouldn't let that put you off at all. You know, these will last you a good few years, you know, depending how often you use them, of course. And hopefully by that time, maybe Arteza will have changed their game a little bit and started selling these, you know, open stock. Who knows? But until that day, I'm certainly going to be enjoying using these. And thank you so much, Arteza, for sending these to me. I'm really grateful to receive them. They were an absolute joy to use, a real pleasure to use, and I really do look forward to using these in the future. You know, a lot of my drawings and mixed media work. Okay, so there we go. That's the review of the 120 sets of Arteza coloured pencils and the review of the Arteza drawing paper. Okay, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.